Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Wednesday. It's October 2nd. It is 2024. We have another 4-game MLB slate for the wild card round. Excited for baseball. Daytime baseball, always fun. Hope everyone enjoyed Tuesday baseball. I love playoff baseball. Go Tigers. Oh man, I'm so sorry if you're a Houston Astros fan. But anyone that's been listening to the podcast, I love this. I hated it because I played Framber in DFS today, but I absolutely love the Tigers taking game one against Houston. Royals beat Baltimore 1-0. Really low scoring games. If you built your pitchers around those two games and Michael King, you probably did really well. The bats that we kind of expected, the Brewers, the Padres, the Mets against Peralta really went off in that game. Man, the Mets, what a show up for the Mets. Vientos, someone we talked about on the podcast yesterday, really attacked those righties. They didn't really pitch to Alonso. He had 3 walks and a run scored, but yeah, King had an incredible outing. Absolutely nailed that one. I had him in my lineup. I went Framber King. I lost money. Listen, I'm always transparent. Everyone that's ever listened to the podcast knows that I'm always transparent. I built exactly what I said I was going to. I built some San Diego, I built some Milwaukee, and I built some Mets with Framber and King. King scored 40, Framber scored 4. Got the Tatis home run, but the rest of my lineup kind of blah. So if you had a good day, hopefully you had a good day. Hope everyone had a good day. What's up, chat? What's up, YouTube? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday night. I was waiting for the San Diego game to kind of wrap up. I was working on some NFL stuff, so we all here. Yeah. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm doing a Plate IQ breakdown today, so if you are listening to the podcast form, head on over to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind YouTube page, and yeah, you get a free Plate IQ breakdown here. I didn't want to go change my shirt, so that's why I took the background off. I'm wearing one of my volleyball shirts from practice tonight, and it's green. So if I left my background on, it just looked really funky. So I was like, no, there needs to be an OG Morning Grind barbecue chat or something one day. Chat barbecue. Listen, I like some good barbecue. I can smoke some good stuff. I love smoking. Love smoking some food. So, all right, let's get into this 4-gamer. We were really close yesterday as far as just like kind of what we wanted. I was high on Scoville. He pitched really well. I was high on Framber, like I said. He kind of struggled. Really high on Reagan's. Burns pitched better than I expected him to. I thought both of the pitchers in the Brewers Mets game were going to struggle, and they did. And Smith Schroyer, I didn't really have any interest in whoever pitched against the Padres. Padres did well. King absolutely dominated. So hopefully everyone had a good Tuesday. Let's move on to Wednesday. We get started right at the top. Detroit at Houston. Like I said, Detroit took game 1. These are best of 3 series. So, I mean, Detroit wins this game, it's over. Houston fighting for their season here. We got an opener situation for Detroit. It sounds like Holton is going to open and probably throw an inning. He's a lefty. They're probably just going to try to get around like Tucker and Alvarez, if I had to guess here. More than anything else, like, Jordan Alvarez back in the lineup is huge here. So looking at this, I assume that Holton throws Altuve, Alvarez, Tucker. And if he gets out of it by then, I don't think they let him get to like Diaz Pena type of build. So Reese Olson going to pitch out of the bullpen in a long relief situation. And I thought that was interesting. I mean, more of like he really wasn't fully ramped up overall. So he's cheap. I don't think this is a spot that you want to play Reese Olson. He's not a huge strikeout guy. Does strike out lefties a little bit more than righties. If we look at his last 30 days, he was definitely still striking out lefties at a good number. They don't have a lot of lefties in this lineup. They're going to have more righties. So his strikeout rate actually dips down against righties. So I don't expect him to pitch too deep in this game either because he's just not fully stretched out, coming back from injury and only getting 3 outings. So 72 pitches last time out against Tampa, and that was the most he's seen since July 10th. On the other side of this game, Hunter Brown. I mean, Hunter Brown is someone that we know has the ceiling. So obviously we have some interest here. Detroit is tougher against right-handed pitching, but Hunter Brown, he strikes out lefties at a higher clip. They're going to get these lefties in there today. Kid Carpenter should be in this lineup for sure. I mean, they're going to get some of these lefties in there. Riley Green, Park Meadows, my boy. Kid Carpenter, my boy. He should be in there. But yeah, Riley Green. Overall, I think you have to take some shots today on Hunter Brown because of the strikeout upside. Yeah, I mean, he should do better. That's for sure. But I mean, Detroit's rolling. I mean, we can't say it enough, right? Detroit is playing well. I will take some shots on Hunter Brown because of the strikeout upside. The pitching slate is not as good as it was yesterday on Tuesday's slate. So overall, I think you have to take some shots here on Hunter Brown. Bats in this one on the Detroit side, some slight interest in Riley Green, Parker Meadows, and Kerry Carpenter. Those are the 3 that I want to play here. Verling is always someone that's in play. I wouldn't stack Detroit. I don't think I'd full stack anybody on this slate. Maybe the Mets, maybe the Padres, if you're going to go that way, but I don't know if I'd full stack. I think this would be like a 3-man stack for me for Detroit if I was going to play the Tigers here. Houston bats. I mean, you're going to get a lefty opener, but we're going to mostly look at righties here. Reese Olson, like I said. Good pitcher. Real life pitcher wise, he's been hit or miss since coming back from the IL. 7 earned runs in 3 outings, and like I said, he really hasn't kind of gone too deep. A lot of interest in Yordan Alvarez, a lot of interest in Kyle Tucker, a lot of interest in Bregman, slight interest in Altuve. They don't strike out. They're going to put the ball in play. They have upside. That's what we're looking for. They're at home and they have to win. This is this type of situation. You show up or you don't. So, in tournaments, I think that you're definitely taking some shots here on the Houston bats. Kansas City at Baltimore, 7.5 total in this game. Baltimore 148 favorite. We got Seth Lugo going up against Zach Eflin. Seth Lugo here, got to switch all this stuff to righties. Lugo, just continuing to have a really solid season, I think is the best way to put it. Didn't work too much against Atlanta over the weekend, so I assume he'll be good to go. It was more of just to try to get him maybe like a simulated bullpen type of outing. So, yeah, they clinched their playoff spot, and we knew that he wasn't going to go deep in that game. So, looking at Lugo here against Baltimore, this is a really tough matchup for right-handed pitching. They have a lot of good hitters in this lineup. Lugo in play, but not my favorite play today. I think this is a spot I have a lot more interest in the Baltimore bats than anything else. Other side here, Zach Eflin. Again, the Royals are just kind of okay right now. It was good to see Vinny Pasquantino back in the lineup. Royals won 1-0. It was both of these offensive have kind of struggled down the stretch. Pasquantino 0 for 4 with a strikeout and a walk. Still worried about what his upside is with the issues. So Zach Eflin's going to go out and he's going to throw a lot of strikes. We know that. He's a guy that goes out and he pounds the strike zone. He makes you beat him. Recently, he has struggled. He had the Yankees, the Giants, the Tigers, the Rays to finish out the season, and his strikeout rate was 18%. Struggled with line drives, struggled with barrels. I think this is a spot I leave Eflin on the table. I like Brown. I like potentially both the pitchers in the next game for tournaments, Manaea and Savali. So we'll talk about that. But I kind of like the bats here. I think this is a game we want to play the bats today, starting with the Kansas City bats. Eflin's hittable, Massey, Witt. I have some slight interest in Pascantino. Again, I'm a little concerned about the injury. Salvador Perez, Melendez. I will say this, right? I didn't show this yesterday, but I looked at this. So if you look at the last 30 days for this team, they've really been struggling. So like if you want to make the argument for Eflin, you make the argument that the Royals have really just been struggling recently. But I think overall, Massey, Witt, Pascantino in play. Witt would be my favorite. Massey would be my second favorite here. You got to pay all the way up for Witt, but the rest of the team is very cheap. It's not hard to play a Royals mini stack here. Baltimore side, I like Baltimore. I think this is a spot. I mean, their backs are against the wall, and they're at home, and they got to show up here. And they have an offense that is very capable of showing up and putting up big games. Again, I think they're potentially one of the teams you could stack. I think this is a spot you played Baltimore. I mean, Henderson, Westberg, Santander, Mountcastle, Rutschman, Kauser, Mullins. I mean, they're all in play here. So I like this spot. I think Lugo's a good pitcher. I don't typically pick on Seth Lugo, but eventually the BABIP's going to run out for him. I think this is a spot you play Baltimore. I think you have to take shots on Baltimore today. Just how this slate kind of shapes up. This is the spot you're just like, they're either going to do it or they're not, but they have the ceiling to break the slate. So you got to play them a little bit here. Weather's been bad out here in Baltimore. Yeah, definitely check the weather with Kevin Roth in the morning. I don't like to play night before weatherman. I let Kevin Roth, the man, the myth, the legend, handle all that. I just like to break down the games, give you all my thoughts on the spots. That's how I've done it for years. We're closing in on 9 years of the morning grind. It's just wild. So Mets, Brewers, 7.5 total. Pick 'em game. Manaea against Savali in this one. You know, starting here with Manaea. I like left-handed pitching against Milwaukee. I've said this a lot. I mean, outside of Hoskins and Ortiz, a little bit of Contreras. The rest of this team really just has struggled with left-handed pitching this year. Gary Sanchez obviously has been good against lefties this year, but I think Sean Manaea has the upside. He did just pitch against this team last week, his last start of the season. They absolutely shelled him. That is very concerning, especially for this time of the year, especially because the Brewers have to win this game. They're at home. So, I mean, that's reasons not to like Manaea, but it's a 4-game slate. We're not going to feel very comfortable about pitching any of these guys. On FanDuel, Hunter Brown's probably my favorite, but on DraftKings, playing 2 pitchers today, I definitely think Sean Manaea is worth looking at. I kind of have some interest in Savali here. I kind of have interest in the Mets bats. I mean, that's just where I'm at. Savali is more than capable of pitching okay. He doesn't typically walk people. He can limit the damage. He has some strikeout upside. He's been pitching a lot better with the Brewers than he did earlier this year. So, I mean, there's upside in that. He's 7,200. I like some bats in the slate. I could see using him. He's not my favorite option by any means, but I could see taking some shots on him today. As far as the Mets bats go, Savali really struggles with left-handed power. So Lindor, Nimmo, Winker would be my favorite plays here. But just because he struggles more with lefty power doesn't mean I don't like the righties here. Vientos, Alonso, always in play. I hardly ever play Jose Iglesias because he just doesn't have like a huge ceiling. Pinch hit risk would definitely be there. I feel like for Marte, Taylor, any of these guys in the bottom half of the order could get pinch hit for. I would like Derek. I would have a lot more interest in Acuna than I would if like he's in there instead of Iglesias. So watch that. If Acuna is in there instead of Iglesias, I would have way more interest in Acuna. But then in your mini stacks, you're not playing Lindor on DK. So I mean, I hate that because Lindor is your upside ceiling guy. As far as the Milwaukee bats are concerned, it's the same guys. Brewers on the ropes, rooting for the Brew Crew here to push this to Game 3. Contreras, Adames, Hoskins, Ortiz. Joey Ortiz has been my guy all year against left-handed pitching. If this is the last time I get to play him, so be it. I'm going to keep doing it. I mean, just really solid numbers all year. I hate how much he walks against lefties. I wish he'd walk less, but 220 ISO, 337 WOBA for Joey Ortiz this year against lefties. 46.8% hard hits. So, yeah, I like him. I like Hoskins. I think Hoskins has he's your home run upside type of play here today against Sean Manaea. I think Hoskins is the guy you're looking at for home runs in this spot. All right, we finish it out. Atlanta at San Diego. This game just kind of wrapped up a few minutes ago. Padres take game 1 4-0 over the Braves. Michael King, like we said, pitched an absolute gem. We got Max Fried and Joe Musgrove. This game just ended, so there's still not any lines out for it. I was checking really quick to see. Oh, so it's a 7 total. It just came out. 7 total. Padres a 120 favorite. Max Fried, Joe Musgrove. Starting here, Max Fried. Listen, Max Fried has looked like Max Fried recently, and he's been pitching fantastic. I do prefer, if you're going to take a shot against this team, it'd be lefties. Because, I mean, that takes away a couple of the really good hitters in this lineup. I'm going to play some Max Fried today, and it's more of just, the guy has just been lights out recently. His last 30 days, 27% Ks, 5% walks, 81 ISO, 255 WOBA, 65% ground balls, and only 11.5% fly balls. This is Max Fried type numbers. 3.4% barrels. Is Max Fried finally back to 100%? It certainly seems that way. He pitched well against the Dodgers, the Royals, the Blue Jays down the stretch. So I think we're taking some shots. I hate playing pitchers against the Padres because they don't strike out. But if he's generating ground balls, you have Max Fried complete game shutout upside in this spot because he can pitch deep into games. He was 1 out away from a shutout, complete game shutout against the Royals. He was at 98 pitches. They yanked him. I highly doubt if Max Fried is 8 2/3 and he gives up a hit or a walk or something, they pull him in this one at 98 pitches. So longer leash, must-win game for Atlanta. Going to take some shots here. Joe Musgrove, his strikeout stuff has been excellent here down the stretch. He has really just kind of dominated strikeout-wise. At least 6 strikeouts in 5 straight. And if you look at it, 7 of his last 8 starts, and he did it against the Dodgers. Giants a couple times, which is good, but good signs pitching well against the Giants or the Dodgers last time out. Like Musgrove here, Atlanta's lineup just really banged up. We know Ozzie Albies being back helps, but Albies is only hitting from the right side of the plate right now. Ozuna, Olsen, Soler, the guys you're worried about power-wise, but they're also guys you want in the lineup because they strike out a lot. So, yeah, Joe Musgrove, very, very much in play here. Both the pitchers in this game seem like good upside type plays. As far as the Atlanta bats, I mean, it's Ozuna, Olsen, and Soler. They're going to lean on their 3 studs here to try to generate some offense. Those are the guys that I'd be playing the most of. D'Arnaud, catcher with some upside, power upside. Michael Harris batting up towards the top of the order. Joe Musgrove is kind of reverse splitsy, so, it's definitely a spot you could look at. A guy like Marcell Ozuna. Righty power is definitely there for Ozuna. So if you want to chase a home run, he's probably one of the better home run chases on the slate overall. As far as the Padres, anytime that Max Fried's pitching, we go into advanced here on plate IQ. Who's the fly ball hitters? Tatis a fly ball hitter. Machado kind of neutral, so could potentially benefit. Higgs, I mean, look at that. 47% fly balls in 85 plate appearances this year against left-handed pitching with 56% hard hits. There's your catcher punt today. He is 3K on DraftKings, and I think he hit a home run tonight. I'm pretty sure he hit a home run tonight. So yeah, that's always good. So he's your home run power upside he got here against Fried if he can make some hard contact and hit the ball up in the air. That's it, right? Quick podcast, only 20 minutes. Broke this one down. This one is a lot easier to break down because, I mean, the pitchers yesterday were just so good. Probably passing the morning grind game again. Braves fan here. Listen to your podcast this morning and mini stacked the Padres against my fanhood and took down the $1 solo shot on DK. Thanks for your info. Congrats. Awesome. Way to take down a tournament. I love that, man. I mean, I do this because I love this job and I love sports, but I love hearing the takedowns and stuff. It never gets old. It never gets old. No morning grind pitchers today. Again, I mean, the pitcher situation, if I had to pick someone to get 6 or more strikeouts, I'd probably pick Joe Musgrove. If I had to pick a bust today, if I was going to pay up or not pay up for a bust, I'd probably pick Seth Lugo as my bust today if I'm not like looking at pricing. Over 4K to hit a home run, I think I got to go Ozuna, even though I like Musgrove. I think Ozuna is going to go yard today. He really profiles really well against Musgrove, so I think that Ozuna is a really excellent potential home run play today. And then under 4K to get 2 hits. Let's see. Who do we think is going to be in the lineup? Oh, I mean, if I like Winker and Massey under 4K today. Massey, if he hits leadoff, I like this. He should be able to get it going here today, going up against Eflin. And then Winker against Savali. 3,700. I think he was another one that hit a home run, or he had a really good game, right? I don't know if he hit a home run, but didn't he have a really good game? I didn't watch a lot of the Mets Brewers game. That was a bad timing part of the day for me. I thought, didn't Winker, did he hit a home run? No, he had a triple. That's what it was. He had a big triple. So yeah, those are some of the bats I like. As far as stacks go, again, it's so hard to full stack today. If I had to pick my favorite offense today, it would probably be Houston. It'd probably be Houston or Baltimore. I really like Baltimore today. I think Baltimore is really interesting against Seth Lugo in a must-win game at home. So give me Baltimore. No props or anything today. Gonna pass on betting this early in the day. Or this early. I say that I'm quickly pulling up to see if there's anything strikeout prop wise for Musgrove. 5.5. So Musgrove at 5.5 on FanDuel at plus 102. I like that. Like I was just saying, he's had at least 6 strikeouts in 5 straight games and 7 of his last 8. So Joe Musgrove over 5.5 Ks on FanDuel at plus 102 is my morning grind bet for today. It's not up on the Hard Rock, but I'm hoping it gets up there soon and I can take advantage of this plus money. I like that one a lot. Hope everyone has a fantastic Wednesday. We're back Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern to break down the Week 5 NFL slate. Me and Notorious going to get the job done and talk some football on Wednesday night, Thursday's podcast. So hope everyone has a fantastic day. If you haven't already, subscribe to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind YouTube. Turn on notifications and come hang out with us live each and every time we do this. Have a great one, everyone. We'll see you then.